YouTube, what it do, loved ones? You know the motto. If you can, after the story, go over there, hit us with a like, which is a thumbs up, and that'll let us know we kicking our stuff. Today we on the edge with BJ APB, and he gonna send us on another good legendary story from our culture. The floor is yours, loved one.
All the time. Peace and blessings to everybody out there. Before I start this story, I wanted to say the reason I tell these stories is because a lot of times we lose homies to the street gang violence. You know, Bloods and Crips. And these Bloods and Crips that I be speaking on, I speak on them because they were somebody dear to me, somebody that I like really kicked it with. And I speak on them because they deserve to have their name mentioned in history. You know, to some people may hate them, to some people love them. You know, me, the ones that I speak on them because I had a chance to like really hang with them, you know, smoke with them and sleep in the same room or whatever it was, you know what I mean?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Their presence was really felt in my life. And then I try to do these stories because sometimes the families of the person that's deceased need to hear these stories and know what kind of son, daughter, or what type of friend that they had outside of what they know about the person. With that being said, I hope y'all enjoy this story. Today's story is about a good friend of mine. His name was Anthony Gilmore. For y'all that didn't know him by Anthony Gilmore, his other name was MooN, Mr. MooN, from original Front Hood County Crip. I met MooN long time ago in juvenile hall, and he ended up going home. And a few years later, he popped up to Hawaii with me. When I first met MooN, I used to didn't like him. And the reason I didn't like him was because MooN had a mouth on him. One thing about MooN was he talked to tall tales, man. No lie, and he backed him up. He didn't have no problem squabbling with you, but he did a lot of talking, and he always was one of them dudes that he had a wolfing problem. But like I said, he had no problem backing it up either. And when he first got to YA, he had got a tattoo on his arm. He had got a big old PK put on his forearm. And the PK was so big, it covered up his whole forearm. And when I first seen it, I kind of like backed up off of him because I didn't like that he wasn't got that tattoo done. But that was just the person MooN was. And the reason I respected MooN was because the unit we was on, MooN made sure every time a Paru came to that unit and he was out of Compton, he made sure that his presence was felt, whether he won or lost. He made sure that couldn't nobody say that a Compton Paru came on that cottage and they didn't get in. That's one thing I can give him credit for. And that's what made me like him even more. Another reason I liked it MooN was because I couldn't get rid of him. MooN loved his cigarettes, and we both, at the time, was addicted to Camel cigarettes. And he was the first person I heard say puffer. Him and schoolboy from schoolyard. They were the first dudes I ever heard say puffer. That's what they used to call cigarettes then. And every time MooN wanted a cigarette, he used to always be like, Johnny, slide your boy a puffer. Send me a puff over there. You know, and that was his main thing, cigarettes and coffee. You know, we was all young, and a lot of us drunk coffee because it substituted having alcohol, having that 40 ounce in your hand all the time. Moon earned my heart because one time a dude from Main Street had went to my cell and stole some tapes. He had stole some tapes from my celly. He didn't steal them from me, he stole them from my celly. And at the time I was in the cell with Roach from 456 Paru. And the dude from Main Street that stole the tape. And when I came in, I noticed the tapes was missing and I got mad. And I came out on the T and I threw a fuck. And back then, for those that don't know what a fuck is when you jump up and you did somebody's hood and they dead homies to get them. You basically try to flush out whoever did the wrong and get them to come forward and get out with you. So nobody answered it. So Moon came and got at me and told me, like, man, he said, man, didn't nobody answer up to that? I was like, no. And Moon was like, that's crazy. He was like, man, I know who did it. So he said nothing else. Later on that night, him and his celly ended up squabbling with the Main Streets, 2 Main Streets. And at the time, Moon was in the cell with Dre. For y'all don't know who Dre is from Nutty Block. And Dre went on to become the rapper known as Dre to the Gangster. And they got out there and got out with the dudes and stuff. And after that, the boy from Main Street, he come get at me and tell me, like, you know, like, we could have settled this a different way. I didn't have to say what I said or whatever, but, you know, it was out there. I was like, you know, when you go in the cell and take something, you wasn't my cell. You took from me and my celly. You know what I mean? You didn't just take from him while you go into my cell. You violated my space.
Right.
So anyway, from there, Moon, so y'all know, Moon is like, he wasn't the biggest dude. Moon was like about 5'9", 5'10". Had a little short hair. He used to keep it braided up at times. Clean cut. The biggest thing on him was his hands and his forearms. Every time he went outside, he didn't do no working out.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
He used to always grab a dumbbell and work out with the dumbbells. You know, he used to just do his little forearms. And every time I used to ask him why he used to do his forearms, he was always talking about he gonna knock somebody out.
Right.
Moon was also dark skinned. And one thing I can say was Moon was in love with the homegirl at the time. Her name was Roblique from Grape Street. Moon was we used to always sit down and talk about Roblique, me and Moon. We both was plotting on messing with her, but Moon ended up getting to her first. And when we got on the streets, I had ran into Moon a couple of times, you know, based on he was from Front Hood and I'm from Athens. It was easy for us to hook up. You know, all I had to do was go down El Segundo and I would find him. And I used to go down there to these apartments. I think they called the Community Arms. I'm not much sure. But sometime I would call Moon and Moon would meet me over there. I had some family members that stayed up in there, but they didn't claim Crip. They claimed Largo. And matter of fact, I believe the only black family from Largo. So when I used to go down there and check on my family, Moon would come over there and we would holler and kick it and smoke some water, and he'd go on about his business. I go about mine.
Right.
Over the years, I had heard about Moon ended up dying, and I was sad because I lost a good friend. You know, Moon, like I said, he was a good dude, and he always used to give good advice, even though he wasn't good at following his advice. But he was always good at keeping it straight with you, whether you liked it or not. The best fight that I remember seeing was Moon and the homie Tubby from 2 P's and the B. They had got into it, and Look at here, man. They got into it, and it was funny because after they got into it, you would think that Moon would be on some BS afterwards.
Right.
But after they got into it, the very next day, Moon come to my door and tell me, like, Johnny, slide me a couple, man. He like, this motherfucker Tubby that hit me in my mouth. This motherfucker supposed to be my homeboy. And we just started laughing about it because, you know, that's Moon. He didn't care, man. You know, y'all got down, it's over with, and he back messing with you. He not gonna let you stay mad at him or nothing.
Right.
You know, he didn't
Whether
care.
it was Crip or Blood or Crip on Crip.
Exactly. And Moon was the reason, one of the reasons I started going by BJ, because he used to always be calling me BJ, and I used to get mad, and I used to tell him, like, homie, call me by my name. And he used to be trying to clown me. He used to be saying I looked like Mr. T when I be frowned up.
Right.
He'd be like, man, B.A. Baracus around this thing. You know, he used to be calling me B.A. Baracus. And so then it went from B.A. Baracus to Johnny Baracus. He used to always be like, Johnny Baracus.
Yeah.
You know, and I miss that, hearing that. I miss hearing that name because he was the only person that ever called me that. Even on the streets, if he see me somewhere, he'd holler that name out. Yeah, man, but Moon, it was an honor meeting you, homie. I really appreciate you and love you, homie. May you rest in paradise, man. Moon, original son of the Compton Crip, man, a.k.a. Mr. Anthony Gilmore. To Mr. Anthony Gilmore's family, I hope y'all appreciate this story, and y'all my family as well, you know, whether y'all know it or not, because the mother that had that boy, you just don't know. You raised a real honorable, significant son. He was an honorable man. And to the front of us, y'all lost a great one when y'all lost Moon, man. Y'all really did. You know, and I hope y'all appreciated his presence, and I hope whenever his birthday come around, y'all go to the cemetery and put some flowers down for the boy. He was a good dude, man. And I hope y'all appreciate this.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Hey, one love, shout out to one love, shout out to Front Hood, from 89 on up and on the edge with BJ APB. And we gonna keep sending this legendary history of our culture, man. And we out. Salute.